Okay, this is the EE4 review. Question 1. Alyssa's age is twice Nora's age, plus 5 years. If Alyssa is 27 years old, which algebraic equation can be used to find Nora's age, M? Okay, so twice Nora's age means that you do 2 times her age. So for age is M, to do 2 times M, you would just put 2M. Okay, it says twice Nora's age plus 5 years. So you would add 5. If Alyssa is 27, so is means equals, so she is 27. If you can't figure out how to write the equation, you can always figure out what Nora's age is and then plug it into the different answers. Question 2. What is the value of x if x over 4 plus 2 equals 15? So to solve an equation, you do the opposite. And you always do the adding or subtracting before you do the multiplying and dividing. So this is a positive 2, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Okay, on the left side that cancels out, and we are left with x over 4 equals 15 minus 2 is 13. Then the division bar right here, that's a fraction bar, that means divide, so it's a division bar. So you do the opposite of dividing, so we're going to multiply both sides by 4. And this is a multiplication. Alright, so that cancels out, and we're left with x equals 13 times 4. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so we carry. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So x equals 52. Question 3. Imani has 3 more pencils than twice the number of pencils that Miguel has. Together, Imani and Miguel have a total of 18 pencils. If x represents the number of pencils that Miguel has, which of the following equations represents this situation? So again, if you just want to try to figure out how many Miguel has, and then plug it in, you can do that. Okay, or we can write our equation. So 3 more pencils, so 3 more than twice the number of pencils that Miguel has. And together, so their total is 18. So of course it's going to equal 18, which all of them have. Okay, so twice the number of pencils that Miguel has. If x is Miguel, so twice the number of L again of x. Remember, twice means to multiply by 2. So 2 times x, and they have 3 more pencils. Okay, but this right here is just how many Imani has. Okay, and the x, remember, is Miguel. So we still have the 2x plus 3, but you have to add that to Miguel's to equal the 18. Question 4. Okay, here we're solving this equation. You could plug in these numbers for x into your calculator. You could do it by hand and do 3/4 times 23 minus 8 and see if you get 25. If you do, it's the right answer. If you don't, it's the wrong. And then you could go through your answer choices. Okay, but in order to solve this, okay, we would just do the opposite. So you're subtracting 8, so we're going to add 8. Remember, you do the addition or subtraction before the multiplication or division. Okay, so this cancels out, and you're left with 3/4 x. That means 3/4 times x equals 25 plus 8 is 33. Remember, it's 3/4 times x, so they're multiplying. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, so we're going to divide by 3/4 on both sides. So this side cancels, and we're left with x. So here we have 33 divided by 3/4. In order to do that by hand, we'd have to write it out horizontally. So 33 divided by 3/4. Right? To change this whole number into a fraction, we just put it over 1. And then when you're dividing fractions, remember you keep the first one, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second one, which is called the reciprocal when you flip it. Okay, and then we just multiply straight across. So 33 times 4, and I would write that over to the side. 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So you would have the 132 over 1 times 3 is 3. Okay? So we have this fraction right here. In order to change it to a whole number, okay, we do the top divided by the bottom. So we put the top number under the bridge. So 3 won't go into 1, 3 goes into 13, 4 times 3 is 12, 13 minus 12 is 1, bring down your 2. So we divided, we multiplied, we subtracted, we bring down. So that's what we do again. 3 goes into 12, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 minus 12 is 0, and there's nothing left to bring down, and we have 0. So 44 would be our answer. X equals 44. Number 5. Again, we do the opposite. So we're going to add 7.1 to both sides. So the left side cancels and we're left with x. Here we've lined up our decimal points, and then we just add. So 5 plus 1 is 6, 2 plus 7 is 9, and you bring your decimal point straight down when you're adding and subtracting. Right, question number 6. Okay. Which of the following could be the value of n in the following expression? Okay, so for a question like this, the best thing to do would be to plug in your answers. So you would have 7 plus 12 is less than 20. So 7 plus 12 is 19, less than 20. Is 19 less than 20? Yes, so that should be our answer. Let's try the next one just to see. So 7 plus n, if n is 13, okay, and write down our equation. So 7 plus 13 is 20. Is 20 less than 20? No, so that can't be an answer. Then you would just plug in the 20. 7 plus 20 is 27. Is 27 less than 20? No. Okay. And the same thing for 27. Remember, on inequalities, that means when they're not equal, if it looks like a smushed L, and remember L's look like this, so if it's a smushed L, then it's the less than sign. Number 7. Gustav needed to bake at least 252 cookies for a luncheon. He baked 8 batches of peanut butter cookies with 12 cookies in each batch. He also baked n batches of chocolate chip cookies with 15 cookies in each batch. Which inequality can be used to determine the number of batches of chocolate chip cookies Gustav needed to bake? So here, at least 252. So at least means 252 or greater. So that would be greater than or equal to. So it's not a smushed L, it's going this way. Greater than or equal to 252. Now, some of you, okay, might automatically do that and think, oh, well, it has to be D. Okay, but that is not the case. Okay, we need to continue going with this. So he bakes 8 batches of peanut butter cookies with 12 cookies in each batch. Okay, so to figure out how many peanut butter cookies he made, you would do 8 batches times 12. And we're not actually going to do that. We're just going to write the 8 times 12. And remember, the parenthesis next to a number means to multiply. Okay, he also baked n batches of chocolate chip cookies with 15 cookies in each batch. So again, we're going to do 15 cookies times the number of batches that we don't know. And then you would need to add the peanut butter cookies plus the chocolate chip cookies. Right, so this would be how most of you would write the equation, which is correct, but it just doesn't match any one of these. Okay, So you could solve for n and then plug it in and see which one works. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, the other way is to bring the 252 to the other side and the 15n to the other side. And remember, when we move it from side to side, we have to change the sign. So like here, we would subtract 15n from both sides of that inequality. So that cancels, and we're left with 8 times 12. Okay, we're not solving this, so we're not going to simplify this because our answers all have 8 times 12, except for D. So we could definitely go ahead and mark that out. Okay, and then we still have our greater than or equal to sign, and you can't put the n's with the no n's. They're not the same family. So it would be negative 15n plus, because that's a positive, 252. So we still don't have one like our answers over here. So we need to bring the 252 to the other side. So it's a positive, so we would subtract. Okay, bring down your sign, bring down your 15n. Here again, if we were solving this, we would put those together, but we're not, so we're going to leave them separated. So it would be negative 252 plus 8 times 12. So here we have a couple that are close, all right, but we still don't have one of our answer choices. So this last thing is something that we haven't really gone over, okay? But if you need to change the signs of every one of these, all right, without changing the numbers, okay, you could divide every one of them by -1. Okay, so if you need to change the sign of all of them, then you can divide the whole equation by -1. So each one, we're going to divide each one by -1 because math is fair. So we have to treat everybody the same. Okay, so here, negative 252 divided by -1 is positive 252. Positive 8 times 12, okay, would change to negative 8 times 12. Then negative 15n divided by -1 is positive 15n. And then this sign, since you divided by a negative, you would flip the sign. So then your answer would be A. Okay, but again, you could just solve it, okay, because you're very intelligent and good at just solving for the answer, and then just plugging it in and see which one works. Okay. All right, number 8, I'm going to go ahead and write over here. All right, that way you can kind of see it. So it says 7 minus 2x is greater than or equal to 15. So remember, we want our letters on the left and our numbers on the right. So this is a positive 7. So to move it to the other side, we've got to subtract 7 from both sides of that inequality sign. Then on the left, make sure you bring down your sign. This is negative 2x. And then your inequality sign in 15 minus 7 is 8. Then we're going to divide both sides by a negative. Hopefully that's ringing some bells. When you divide both sides by a negative, you got to flip your sign. So we're left with x, and then 8 divided by -2 is 4. So it's x is less than or equal to 4. Oop, whoops. What did I forget? Okay, 8 divided by -2 is -4. Okay, when you're multiplying and dividing, same signs, positive, different signs, negative. Okay, so your answer would be D. Number 9. Okay, it just wants to know which one of these is true. So we can just plug them in like we did on number 6. So if we plug in a 0, so we have 3 is greater than y, which is 0, plus 2. So we still have our 3 is greater than 0 plus 2 is 2. Is 3 greater than 2? Yes. So that means it's probably going to be A. Let's go ahead and plug in the next one. Okay, 3 is greater than 1 plus 2. Well, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 is not greater than 3. You could plug in the 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. Is 3 greater than 12? No. You could plug in the 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. Is 3 greater than 13? No. So your answer has to be A. And remember, you can go back and review these as many as you want. This was the review for 7.EE.4.